So this is page 2 of the Using Formulas with Decimals activity. We went through number 4 in class, but I'll just go ahead and go over it right now as well, since I'm going to be doing 1, 2, and 3 anyways. So we're solving equations, and then we're going to work up to solving formulas. And so number 1, I see that I need to get the variable by itself, and it's an equation. So I'm going to draw my vertical line, and anything I do on the left side I have to do on the right. Since it's subtracting 3.1, that means I'm going to add 3.1 to both sides. So you always look where the variable is, and then you just do whatever the inverse operation is. So if it's subtracting, we're going to add, and you can go ahead and use your calculator for that. That's going to be 28.9. You definitely want to have a calculator out for this activity. To check it, put it back in for n, so I get 28.9 minus 3.1. And I just want to see, does that equal 25.8? So you can easily check that on your calculator. Number 2, again, I see I have to get the y by itself, draw a vertical line, use our inverse operations. So that's 9.2 times y. There's nothing written between them, so I assume that means multiply. So then I must divide both sides by the 9.2. So I get y equals, let's do that one on the calculator, 31.28 divided by 9.2. I get y equals 3.4. And again, I'm going to go back to the original equation to check. So I have 9.2 times y, which is 3.4, equals 31.28. So let's double check that one. 9.2 times 3.4. Yep, it equals 31.28, so we're good. Make sure you're boxing your solution and not your check. So this is your solution, this is your check. Alright, number 3. Again, I'm solving an equation, draw that vertical line. I'm trying to get the x by itself. I've got 2 things to choose from. Do I need to first take care of that 21.3 or that 7.4? And so this is where it helps to think, okay, I'm reversing my steps that I would normally use for PEMDAS, and we're using inverse operations. So with PEMDAS, you normally multiply or divide first, and then add and subtract. So if we're going backwards, I'm going to actually first add or subtract. So in this case, I'm going to subtract 21.3 from both sides. I got 7.4x left on the left side, and on the right side that's 117.5 minus 21.3, 96.2. Alright, now I have multiplying in the problem, 7.4 times x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 7.4. So again, first we add or subtract, then we're going to divide. And that gets me x equals 13. That worked out nicely. Box your answer and then go ahead and check it in the original equation. So I have 7.4x, so 7.4 times 13, plus 21.3, does that equal 117.5? Yep, we're good. And for the checks, I'm okay with you not, showing every step of your work because it's a check. You can just feel free to use your calculator to do the check part of it. Number 4, we did this one in class, but we'll just do it again. The number n of drive-in movie theaters in the year X can be estimated by this formula. I'm going to copy it down here. Find the year when there were 629 drive-in theaters. So I need to know, am I plugging in x equals 629 or am I plugging in n equals 629? So x was the year, n was the movie theaters, so it must be n. So I'm going to plug in n equals 629. So I actually end up with an equation to solve. 629 equals negative 18.5x plus 37,740. I know this is an equation that I have to solve because I see the x is not by itself. So I need to use my inverse operations to get the x by itself. So just like on that last equation, I'm going to always add or subtract first, multiply or divide second. So subtract 37,740 from both sides. Feel free to use your calculator here as long as you're showing your work. So that gives me negative 37,111. And now I'm ready to divide. Always divide by the number that's next to the x, so I'm dividing by negative 18.5. Got 2006. Always a good sign when you end up with a positive answer, right? We don't have negative years. Okay, and again, you can go back and check your work. I don't have a ton of room here, so I'm going to skip the check, but I trust that you yourself will go back and put that 2006 back in here for x and see that it works out to get you 629. Writing my complete sentence, so in the year 2006, there were 629 movie theaters, drive-in movie theaters. Okay, so that's it for page 2 of this activity.